Hey everybody, welcome back. Hollywood Pizza here. I'm joined by HearSayTTV. We've got the weekly news for you today. How are you doing, Hearsay?
You know I'm cheesy, baby.
Oh yeah, cheesy and greasy. Let's get going. So first we're going to go over the events from this past weekend, including our event here, the Slice of Historic. So it was won by Jeskai Control, second place to Dragonstorm combo, which is actually pretty surprising to most. But the rest of the top 8 consisted of 2 Golgari food decks, 2 Azorius controls, and another Jeskai control deck here. And our metagame essentially consisted of, let's see, the most decks that we had were Golgari Food with 7 representatives. Uh, it did okay. It didn't really do that
It didn't make a big
crazy.
splash as we thought it always does because it's the
Yeah.
Golgari food deck has been quite dominant in the last couple tournaments, but Jeskai Control seems like it's found its place in being able to take it over.
Oh yeah, definitely. We also have Azorius Auras, which actually was a deck that I was actually considering naming a deck to take to the weekend. So I'm actually surprised it didn't do as hot. It had 6 representatives with a 12, 15, and 1 record, so not really that great. The next 2 decks on the list, which one you already mentioned, Jeskai Control, 4 players had an, and Rakdos Arcanist also with 4 players, and the Arcanist deck definitely got kind of stomped a little bit there. 2 and 7.
Yeah, for sure. I'm super with even with all these lists happening here and like what we had for the tournament. It was exciting to watch, and I cannot tell you how excited I am for the next month's tournaments.
Oh yeah, New Capenna's looking great already. We're definitely going to get into some New Capenna as well, even in the weekly news today. But in this tournament, you can already see, you know, this format's kind of solved. There's like specific decks that you can bring, and whatever deck is having the weakest week, that's the deck that's going to lose out, and you'll see the other decks in the meta essentially kind of climb over it. But
Mhm.
a lot of the time too in our historic events, we actually have quite a variety at top 8. For this one, we actually had quite a few of the same decks. So for as much of a good sign up that we had, like it's interesting to see that
Yeah,
those
like
are actually the top
historic
decks,
is kind
right?
of yeah, historic like you already said, historic is kind of a solid format as it were. Like you kind of know what lists are going to be there, and it matters of like I think now like we've gotten enough reps in with the decks that people play to know how to play against the deck that you're going against. So like that Golgari Food's going to be there, that Auras will be there, that Phoenix is going to be there, and I think Phoenix actually did the worst out of the entire tournament, right?
Um, for having the highest representatives
Like yeah,
at
Phoenix went 3 and
4,
15.
yeah, Izzet and Rakdos each had 4 players, and yeah, Izzet actually had the lower win percentage. That's kind of
Yeah, so
crazy,
like you just
actually.
like we've gotten enough reps in. They know what to play against, what to counter, what to bring in. Um, Yeah, like it's like you said, it's a solid format until new cards come out. I don't know how much new cards are gonna affect historic, but I'm looking forward to it for sure.
Yeah, Capenna's going to be interesting. We'll see, all the new decks that'll come in and kind of what splash they'll have in each individual format. Our
Mhm.
second event of the weekend, though, was GG Tour's event. Always great. So that was actually a standard event. It was won by Orzhov Control, and it looks like there's
By
quite
a
a
by a
lot of
by a
Orzhov.
landslide.
One,
By
two,
a
three,
landslide. One, two, three, four,
5
five.
Orzhov decks, in the top 8. We also have Azorius Control, Rakdos mid range, and Mono Green Aggro rounding out that top 8. So Orzhov, even in the top 20, 25 here, we see quite a lot of Orzhov in between the other decks. So it seems as though Orzhov was a good contender, huh, Hearsay?
Yeah, Orzhov in the meta game there. Orzhov players brought 36 decks.
Quite a lot of the field for how many
Yeah,
players do we
36
have? 138 players.
36 decks for Orzhov mid range. There was 12 Esper, 11 Mono White, 10 Rakdos, and 10 Nairunes. That was your top five meta decks that was into the tournament. Orzhov mid range went 126 and 81 and 4. That's
62%
pretty.
win rate.
Yeah. As for control, went 18 and 31. At a 35% win rate, was it? Yeah. Mono White went 36 and 30. Rakdosak went 19 and 25. Naya Runes went 34 and 30. So clearly, Orzhov mid range was the deck of the weekend for that standard event, and
Hmm.
it looks like it did really well.
Yeah, I mean, 36 decks, and that record is pretty good. A lot of times you'll see that many decks, and you'll kind of see the record like kind of wash out a little bit because half of those
Even
players
be
maybe
like
did bad, but
50-50, like it usually ends up being like when you see that many decks, you usually see like it being around like the 55-52% win rate. But this one being at 62 is like it just proves that that it's just very strong deck. And I always find round set release and when a new set comes out, there's always like one deck that is very prominent
hmm.
into a tournament, and Orzhov seems to fit the bill.
Oh yeah, definitely. So be on the lookout for Orzhov in your next standard events. Yeah, that pretty much rounds out our events from the weekend. Our next topics here is actually some exciting things from Streets of New Capenna. So early access. As we're recording this, early access is still going on. When you watch the video, it's probably still going to be going on today, later today. But we've had some really big splashes, including cards like Facebreaker. We had Ginny. Ginny's been doing really good. Seen quite a few Gala greeters around. Hearsay, what are some cards that you've been seeing around?
Oh man, I obviously I didn't get into the early access there today, but I spent my day watching a lot of streamers really get in on the early access, and I've been loving every minute of it. And it's going to show that a lot of the cards that we did pick for our previous video of the top 10 have definitely shown and done some work today. We had cards like the Black Market Tycoon. Being able, even though the Black Market Tycoon does deal 2 damage to you at the beginning of your upkeep per treasure you have, it still ramps you into some pretty crazy turns. With paired with Ginny, so I seen a match earlier today against, I think it was the One Jame and Lady Lavinius, and they had ramped out. Lady Lavinius had ramped out into getting bootlegger stockpile. I think is the card
Bootlegger Stash? Yeah,
stash.
Bootlegger Stash.
And having the tycoon being able to ramp into that, and then they had Ginny on board. So instead of them turning all of their lands and the treasures with Ginny on board, they turned all their treasures into tokens.
Oh,
So
wow.
that was a pretty cool interaction to see, like it just not being able to ramp out, but now your lands just has tap and make a creature, make a 3/1 vigilant dog or a 2/2 haste cat.
That seems
That
really
was
strong. Like that
Yeah,
is
it
that
was
is
pretty cool to
strong.
see. It was a definitely cool combo to see. I love seeing it. The Gala Greeters, that was also a card that's been really prominent today. Obviously, like that life gain, gaining 2 life per creature coming out. Went like obviously you can't pick it, but if you have um, more Gala Greeters out, you can pick the mode more than once on each Gala Greeter. So that life gain was like actually really relevant. Creating a treasure token for the next turn was really good, and even like bumping up the Gala Greeter was sweet. Um, the 3 cards that I think made the biggest splash was Fight Rigging, Titan of Industry, and Obnix List. Obviously,
Agreed.
I'm not going to go
100%.
ahead and I'm not going
100%.
to talk about Obnix List. You guys already know my opinion on it. Check my Twitter, you'll
Yeah, check
see.
out the set reviews. Check out our top 10 on this channel. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. But we've got tons of coverage on Streets of New Capenna overall. These are mainly just like the top cards of day one.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I Man, Fight Riggins is really cool
Five
to
rigging's
see,
the real deal. You
especially.
guys definitely turned my opinion around on it. Like I feel like I would have looked really dumb if I said it was like a terrible card, but from what we've seen today, it's like for you to just play fight rigging and immediately get that free spell, right?
Yeah, it's a pretty crazy card, and like you said, like we said earlier today, there, Hollywood. We kind of forgot what a free spell feels like. We haven't had to deal with a free extra turn off of Galvanic Iteration copying all runs. We haven't had to deal with Emergent Ultimatum in a long time. So, like, that access to a free spell has been like, ah, man, whatever, whatever. And then you see it, you're like, wait a minute. Like there's too many times I've seen it. We've seen it on Ham's channel there today, HamHawks42. Got down the fight rigging. The next turn, put down the shakedown heavy, makes it a 7-7. And what's under the fight rigging is none other but a titan of industry. So here's a 7-5 menace. Here's a 7-7 reach trample. Here's a 4-4 rhino. It was just absolutely insane to see. And I'm here for it.
We actually also saw Dean pull off 2 fight riggings in a row.
Yeah,
and immediately end the game. They were playing against Covert Go Blue there. Actually, just a little while ago. It was kind of nuts because I think that was only like turn 4 or 5, right? And all of a sudden, Dean's just about to cast 2 spells for free and already has some beef on the board. Like, that was just like a crazy turn, honestly.
It's just like it's just, I think it's just that's just crazy. I'm super excited. I can't wait. Set comes out in 2 days, folks. 2 days. The set comes out on Thursday. I think it's going to be at 12, right?
I don't want to guarantee what time just because it's different time zones. Although we do know it does come out.
I know it's always Eastern though. It's always Eastern.
Yeah, it's like early Eastern in the morning, so I don't really want to give a specific time just in case we're wrong, but definitely be on the lookout. Make sure that you get your pre-orders in by the time you've watched this video. If you're watching this right now, definitely get your pre-orders in if you haven't already.
Want to get your 4 album mix list because you're gonna get your wild cards back. Don't you worry.
But yeah, I mean, Titan Industries is like a great ramp card. I figured it was gonna be one of our best ramp payoffs now, considering that it could gain you life, so it keeps you in the game. It makes another big body. A 4/4 is like nothing to laugh at. It also can destroy a problematic permanent and artifact or enchantments, and that shield counter is also no joke. I mean, you put that shield counter on your 7/7 with trample, and you know your opponent can't really make great blocks against it, and the board wipe isn't going to do it either. So I think that fight rigging, Titan, and some of these other cards that we mentioned here are definitely going to continue to have like a lasting impact on standard or potentially even alchemy.
An honorable mention too for today. I seen Rabble Rousing, another hideaway card with Jetmir.
Ooh.
That was something because Rabble Rousing says you make that many tokens for how many creatures you've attacked with. So when I'm pretty sure that's on the stack of attacking. So those tokens come in just before combat.
Yeah, the attacking trigger hasn't resolved at that time.
Yeah, so you can
stack it. You can stack it.
Yeah, and it pumps up the Jetmir triggers. Oh, it was just pretty crazy to see, and it's not that hard to get that many creatures. Obviously Fight Rig is the best one, but these hideaway spells seem to be doing the thing that they want to do.
Yeah, my honorable would have to be Shakedown Heavy. I've actually seen as soon as I got on the computer, I saw Shakedown Heavy in like 3 straight streams, and I was like, well, yeah, that card's a real deal.
Yeah, the card's the truth. Yeah. The fact that you can take it out and it gives you a draw, you're like, okay, cool, but now it's a blocker. And another card too, Hollywood, is your Kraken.
Yeah, I love Kraken.
Kraken go off to
that card just feels so green. And Halo Fountain and Hamstream, like Halo Fountain and Kraken, and well, I guess the heavy doesn't get tapped, but the Kraken and the Halo Fountain's a great combo where like if your opponents don't realize that if they tap your Kraken and you have Halo Fountain out, you can just untap it again. They kind of get blown out by it. So yeah, I mean, 4-mana 6/6 trample ward 2 can't really go wrong with that. And Halo Fountain getting you more creatures on the battlefield to go wide, or potentially even drawing you some cards. And here's I'm gonna say it: we could see the ultimate.
We're not gonna see it. 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 For folks that are watching this at home, we have a bet. And I said that if I see someone win the game with Halo Fountain, I'll eat my hat. I don't like that. There's no way that's gonna happen. And it can't be versus Sparky. It cannot be versus Sparky.
Yeah, no Sparky matches here. But that's definitely like the rundown essentially of what we've seen on our end from watching like multiple streams, kind of getting the lowdown from what few players have been playing, what their opinions are on things. But definitely stay tuned to twitch.tv for any of your favorite creators who are going to be streaming early access as well tomorrow. So or today, by the time you see this video, they should already still be streaming. So Definitely go check all those wonderful people out. But to kind of round up here in terms of our upcoming events, we've got Streamer League Season 11. That is going to be standard format. It is at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. $6 entry fee, $5 plus the melee fee there.
It's a blast. I think it's Charizard Jane, or sorry, not Charizard James anymore. It's the one Jane and Ali Eldrazi, I think, are the casters.
Yes, they're going to be doing the commentary. So that's some fire commentary right there. Definitely be on the lookout for that this coming Sunday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I might try to get in on that too myself. I know HearSay's played in it before, so this is one of the few Sundays we don't have an event.
Yeah, go in there, show them some love. Yeah, and just have a fun. Like, it's a great tournament. We love to have them. So,
all right, yeah, Streamer League Season 11 going to be a great time. We also have some exciting news for us in the month of May. Our schedule is actually already out. You can find a link to that in the description below. So definitely get in on all those free tournaments that we're actually having in May. And HearSay, you got some hot takes for me this week?
Oh, you know I got some hot takes for you. One of my hot takes is I think that fight rigging is going to be one of those sneaky game-winning cards. I've seen it a lot today. I think going into the new format of Standard, and probably not historic, like maybe, but like definitely in Standard, that fight rigging is going to be an absolute game ender. Being able to get a free spell off via, like, say it's Coma, say it's Titan of Industry, say it's Toxrill, whatever big threat that you're running underneath, it's a free spell. Hitting that 7 power isn't that hard. It's not that hard. I've seen it all day today. Getting it out on turn 4. You hit it with turn 3, and on turn 4 you get that 7 power. I'm telling you, it's crazy. Oh, yeah. I think it's that going to be that game winning card for sure.
So, I think Streamer League...
What's your hot take there, big guy?
So my hot take, I think Streamer League 11 this weekend is the biggest event that's happening. So my call is that a non-Ob Nixilis deck wins the event.
Ooh, that's bold.
That is a bold statement. And, you know, we love us some Bob, and we think that card's pretty busted. Same as Fight Rigging. Fight Rigging's up there definitely for one of the most busted cards in the set as well. But I get a feeling that maybe by the time Streamer League 11 happens, there could be an answer for Ob. I don't know. Not a guarantee. Pithing Needle?
Yeah.
Knock, knock. Pithing Needle? Anybody? But, yeah, I think that potentially, just my hot take, a non-Ob Nixilis deck will take down Streamer League 11.
Bold move. We'll see how it works for you.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But hey, we want to thank everybody for watching this video. We really appreciate you hanging out with us today. You can find all of our content, links, and all the links of everything that we talked about today in the description below. If you've enjoyed all of our content, don't be afraid. Subscribe to the channel. It helps us greatly. Leave a comment and like the video. And as always, I hope that you all stay cheesy.